Now we're transitioning into the more serious part of the video, and I would ask you to listen more because a lot of these people are kind of bearing their hearts for you guys to see, talking about stuff that means a lot to them. So, yeah.
And
Thanks.
being respectful is important. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
I was diagnosed 3 days before my 3rd birthday, so I've been cancer-free for 11 years. I was diagnosed with leukemia ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. I didn't know what was really going on at first. I knew my parents were upset, and that's all I really understood, and that I was sick. I knew that I wasn't going to be seeing my friends as much, and I knew that I would be spending a lot of time in the hospital.
Well, again, my grandmother, but other than that, not too much, but like, it's kind of a thing we all know about, like everyone, we all know about, we don't talk about too much, but I feel like it should be a bigger issue than we all treat it as.
So I didn't really know about my mom's diagnosis till late November of last year. My mom had been suffering from these terrible back pains, so in order to know her full story, you need to know she suffered from multiple sclerosis, which was also known as MS, for 15 years, so ever since I was born. And she was really good about hiding it, and it was a really hard, difficult disease that affected all of your nerves. And a lot of times she wouldn't be able to get up and stuff, and I just thought maybe it was one of her other MS attacks that was going on, except it was worse. Like, she couldn't move, and it was really hard, and she would still, do everything. Like, she would do anything for me, but I could see that was hurting her more. She'd still give ride homes to friends, but it was still hurting, and finally she went to the doctor. It's several doctors, and finally they figured out that she had a lymphoma tumor on the L5 vertebrae of her back. And I didn't really know what lymphoma was. I just heard that it was just another disease, another thing that she'd be able to come home. But my sister took me aside and was like, she's gonna have to go through chemo. And that hit me so hard, I didn't even know. But my mom would call me after that and was like, well, I just can't keep healthy, can I, Janie? And I was like, the only kind of response from her was she was trying to make me laugh the entire time. And that really showed her genuine spirit, that she was always there for me, no matter how much she hurt.
2 months old. 2 months. She had breast cancer, but
That's all I know.
Yeah, we're not really sure exactly because she was diagnosed later, and also before we were born.
When I probably first realized was when I was missing a lot of school and not being able to see my friends. Also, probably the first time that it really hit me was when I was hooked up to the IV pole for the first time, and told you can't get out of your bed and you can't go play at your house. Or I also realized before I was diagnosed, the reason why I was diagnosed was I was bruising really easily. And so my parents took me to the pediatrician's office where they ran a couple of tests, and then they found out that I had cancer. So they told my parents, you really need to go to Children's Hospital. We're not quite sure, but we think your daughter has cancer. So I was taken right to the Children's Hospital and diagnosed that day. I had chemotherapy for a year. That's when you're going in constantly. The year after, you go in every other day, and you just get your counts checked. Then it goes from every other day to once a week to once a month, and now I'm to once a year. People need to do Relay because you get to help kids like me. I was in preschool. You get to help kids who don't get a chance at, going out and playing every day. You get to help families heal. You get to help people get stronger. You get to help anyone that's been touched by cancer know that someday there will be a cure. And we're working towards that end goal of there being a cure. And there's nothing anyone can do to stop us from fundraising. It's an amazing feeling to know, you might only get a $10 donation one day, but the next day you get a $50 donation. And you've now made $60 towards the cure of stopping this hurt that's everyone's touched by. Being a part of Relay really makes you realize that you're not the only one being touched by cancer, that everyone's touched by cancer. And doing relay really makes you feel like you're doing something good and you can see the benefits of what you're doing.
I mean, cancer hits everyone in a certain way, and everyone's affected. So, people need to step up and raise money so that we can prevent this from ever happening to any other families, because I know it's torn mine apart at times. So, it's important just in several ways, and I highly convince you to do it, because it's one of the most important and life-changing events that's ever happened to me.
People should really, because it's one of the strongest acts of support you can show. I mean, like, you're spending your own time, your own money to help find the cure for cancer. That's pretty big. And like, for all you know, you could be donating the last dollar that makes cancer research, helps them find the cure. Knowing that you donated $10 or $100, even a penny, you know that you contributed to that aha moment when scientists figure out that we can beat this thing.
Well, not only is it a ton of fun, we go and we all really, not just our team, but we all just really bond together, the whole event. Our event is kind of small, so all the teams that get together just really feel we're all there for the same purpose. So we all just, we're all just friendly. Normally when you bump into someone on the street, you just go, oh, sorry, and walk away. But at relay, I mean, you could knock over a person and I'll just be like, oh, hey friend, how are you doing? And get up and, hug. That actually happened to me last year. I bumped into someone and they hugged me for it. It's just really team building.
Well, you don't get to do those Mother's Day things, when you were in elementary school, you do those crafts and stuff, and then we just go, so what do we do? And so we'd make them, and then just, I don't know, we just do whatever we want with them. It was really hard because during Mother's Day, everyone would say, oh, my mom's so great, she packed me this amazing lunch, and she drives me everywhere, and she's like my best friend, and we go shopping all the time, but we never really got that experience.
My mom, I think one of the hardest parts for me was recently what I did is I had to spread her ashes, and I think that was the last thing that really symbolized that she was absolutely gone. When she first passed away, I realized later on how easy it was to, at first everyone kind of coddled you, and, everyone was like, I'm so sorry, and everyone knew. And, but after that, people, had to go on with their lives, and I just wanted everyone to stop, I wanted, my life had kind of stopped for a while because she was gone, but everyone else had to move on because that's time. That's how time works. Time heals, but it hurts, and over time it's gotten better, but the February and March were probably the hardest times for me, because it really, a lot of the time I was numb, but then it was starting kind of to thaw out, as I called it, and I was figuring out Mom's not going to be home when I come home. Mom's not going to be there to, hold my hand. Mom's not going to be there for graduation. Mom's not going to be there anymore. So it really hurt, but there's been a lot of great parts, though, to it. My mom's celebration of life, which was in January, 500 people showed up. 500, not only 100, but 500. And they were everyone, and all of them had been affected, and a lot of them were my friends and teachers and comrades from Kenmore Junior High. It was the coolest thing, and I was amazed, to the amount of people she affected, and that just shows how much of an influence she was in this community and how much of a great person she was, and I try to live up to that every day. She's a hard act to follow, but I'm doing my best.